Hello guys, can you guys hear me all right? Yeah. Yeah, can you guys hear me all right? Just want to make sure. Just want to make sure everything's communicated. Okay, hey guys, what's up? My day is going all right. Very very productive. I'm currently filming 4 different videos. So like right now, I just finished filming my review of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, which I saw yesterday. So I'm gonna be editing my review hopefully while I'm talking to you guys. I did a filmed a ranking of all of the current 7 Mission Impossible films, so I'm working on that one. I also beat Final Fantasy 16 yesterday. Took me about 40 hours to do it, so I'm doing a ranking of the icons or summonings. Just my personal thoughts on each of them. There's only about 8 that they're really present in the game. And then if I have time after the stream, I'm gonna try at least get the live action portions of my review for Final Fantasy 16, and then hopefully work on that sometime late tomorrow. Hopefully, I have time to get it up because I'm going to be leaving for MGS Con on Friday around noon because I can't actually check into my hotel until 3 o'clock. It's going to be like a 4.5 hour drive because I'm going to be driving farther into LA than the 2 prior trips that I did to California. So this one's going to be longer. It might even be 5 hours. So yeah, I've just been really, really busy. So thanks guys for joining. So how have you guys been? So like that's so if yeah. Okay, well that's good, Vengeance. So you guys can just start firing over your questions, and I'll answer them as best I can while I'm editing I'm editing my review of Mission Impossible. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Hey, what's up, Sean? How you doing? So so pretty much like on this screen, I'm editing my review of Mission Possible, but I'll be sure to keep an eye on the chat and make sure I talk to you guys, so you guys are good. Might as well take these off. I don't think I need being this close. What would I say is the best fast food restaurant? I'd go with Panda, uh, Panda or Pizza Hut. Those are the 2 I typically go to the most. I made it a normal tradition to always go to Panda every time I see a movie. That's like a tradition I've been following for like the last like 10 years. So yeah, Sonic's a good one. I like their grilled cheese sandwiches, and yeah, I think they have like some of the best slushies. I always make sure I come in and get a discount on those. But yeah, getting a like 2 grilled cheese sandwiches and like a lemon slush, those are really good. What is the hardest platinum trophy I ever got attempted? Uh, Ever attempted? I think the hardest one that just comes to mind was probably Call of Duty World at War, simply because there was this one. It was like the second to last mission in the rushing. It was like I do believe it was the yeah, it was the it was the first to last mission for the rushing campaign. That was just hard as hell on veteran. It was an absolute nightmare. It took me like a month to get past just this one mission. But once I got past there, I was able to get the platinum. But I think platinum isn't so much due to difficulty; it's just time. Like a lot of the supposed harder trophies, it just takes time to do. Like platinuming Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West, it wasn't hard. It just took a considerable amount of time. That's really what it comes down to. It's just do you have enough time to get those trophies? It's not so much you actually need to get better at the game. It's just do you have the time to do it. Uh, let's see what it is. Have I ever heard of Assassin's Creed codename Hex? No, I have not. I have not. Zach, you think Death Island will be one of your be one you will like? I mean, from what I heard, they might be favoring Jill quite a bit. Maybe. I mean, I think the cast is a little bloated. I think that when the more characters you add, the less the threat feels, especially when you have a team full of veterans. Which I think that in terms of actual experience, I think this might be the most experienced collaboration of combat experience we've ever seen. Like if you had like a Resident Evil game that had Chris, Jill, Claire, Leon, Ada, and I don't know who the hell who like put Barry. If you had a game that had like those 6 characters, the threat wouldn't feel so good because you're dealing with like the most experienced collection of BOW killers in the franchise. And it's just knowing what they've been through. Like, these guys aren't going to panic no matter what they see. It's just like, what haven't they dealt with? BOWs, they're practical tanks. They've dealt with thousands of zombies. They've dealt with BOWs that are the size of buildings, and they've never once flinched. And so it's just like, what could you possibly bring that these guys would be concerned with? They're able to, if they can keep a cool head in those situations, then whatever Death Reckoning, or not Death Reckoning, whatever Death Island is bringing, they're going to keep a cool head. I mean, they're going to take it serious, but I think they're going to be good. I'm not really too concerned. Okay, now let's get the Mission Impossible review clips. There we go. Switch over here. Do tier list of school years. You mean trying like my school years? That'd be a bit hard to pull off. For me, it's definitely Arkham Knight. Those challenge maps were driving me crazy. Have I listened to any songs by Ed Sheeran? Yes. Apparently, yeah. My brother's wife is a major fan of his, and apparently, believe it or not, after I get back from my trip to El Paso, they're actually going to be like flying into Vegas to go see one of his concerts here in Vegas. So I think this is actually going to be her first time in Vegas. But yeah, apparently they're going to one of his concerts here in Vegas after I get back, like literally the day after I get back from my trip from El Paso. They're going to be here. Do a top 5 worst movies list. Okay. Yeah, that might. I'd have to really sit down and think about that one. All right, Boda. In my opinion, what are my favorite films made by John Singleton? My favorite is Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy, or Four Brothers. I actually am not familiar with that director, so I can't say he's a director or filmmaker that I'm a big fan of. I'm sure he's maybe done some films that I've liked, but they haven't really stood out too far to me. Like the ones you've listed, like Boys in the Hood, I know of it, I've never seen it. Baby Boy, I've heard of it, I've never actually seen it. The only film you've listed is Four Brothers, and I've seen it a couple of times, but I just thought it was okay. Well, Jill has been out of the game for a while. She might be rusty. Apparently she's gonna jump right in as if no time passed, which makes no sense because she's wearing the exact same clothes she did in 1998. I still will not drop that. And mind you, this is the remake Jill. So why are they mixing in the remake Jill with the original timeline characters? Because we've established that there apparently are 2 timelines. There's the original timeline and the remake timeline. And this Jill is from the remake. But they're trying to say that this remake Jill is connected to the original Jill, and that isn't the case. And that's why I'm frustrated with this. It's just like, look, either stick with the main timeline or continue on with the remake, but don't mix the two. It's getting confusing. Do I think they will make a Devil May Cry 6? No doubt. Of course they will. Devil May Cry 5 was an amazing game. It was very commercially successful. We will get Devil May Cry 6. Hopefully it just sticks to focusing on Nero. I don't think we need Dante or Virgil anymore plot-wise. I think we've pretty much have gone as far as we can with those characters. Let's just focus on Nero and move forward from that. What would I say is the most fun Resident Evil game to replay other than 4? Personally, I would say Resident Evil 5. Playing that with a friend is always fun. I mean, a lot of people like to complain that the AI was like really, really bad. Although the AI was never really bad for me. In fact, in a lot of cases, the AI was actually more helpful than playing with another player. But heck, when you're playing with another player of Resident Evil 5, that is like easily one of the best. I openly can say Resident Evil 5 with co-op is easily probably one of my all-time favorite co-op games of all time. Like I would like if someone wanted to play co-op with me, I could play with that game for hours. Like that's easily one of the best co-op experiences I've ever had with a game. For a game that a lot of people claim to not like, and yet it is the best-selling Resident Evil game of all time. So apparently somebody liked it. Kindergarten to 12th grade? I'm not sure. I didn't actually go to kindergarten. I actually skipped technically a grade. So I actually started, as far as I know, 5th grade in the middle of the school year because I was in daycare for that year, for a good portion of that year that I remember. I know I did not start 1st grade when it started in late August. I know that for a fact. I do remember that specifically. So technically speaking, had I actually gone to kindergarten, then I would have graduated class of 09 instead of graduating class of 08. Do I think Chris Redfield will be annoyed with Spider-Man? I don't think so. I mean, Spider-Man is just very talkative, but that doesn't make him annoying. Have I ever played any Lego game? I think I played one of the Star Wars Lego games, but I just couldn't get too into it. I can see why it would be fun for a much younger audience, but it just didn't really resonate very much with me. Zelda is my biggest video game crush. Okay, that's nice. I'm glad you feel that way. Where would you place the adventures of Bob and his brother Steve on your list? They're not even on the list. That's not a Devil May Cry game, so they wouldn't be on the list. Oh, where would I put it in the worst games? Maybe number 2. It's just a game that shouldn't exist. There was no reason to do that game. Like, I can understand giving your franchise to another studio if you're in a bad place, but Devil May Cry was in a very good place after Devil May Cry 4. I don't know why they did that. That's just a game that just flat out should not exist. So it might be number 2. How am I? I'm doing fine. I'm just trying to get like a lot of work done because I have like 5 different videos. I have 2 ranking videos, a review, this, and then another review for Final Fantasy 16, and I'm trying to get them all done before I head out to LA on Friday. I might do some editing while I'm down there, but I'm mainly just trying to focus on just getting as much done because I'm gonna be trying to do as much filming as possible. And I just bought a brand new gimbals to hopefully get a lot of vlog footage while I'm at MGS Con. So that's really where my primary focus is right now. Intro and outro and 3TG. There we go. Alright. Okay. I put that there. Who would win in a fight, Kratos or Titus? Kratos. Easy. I mean, Titus isn't really bringing anything that he could do much to Kratos. He's not bringing enough strength. He's not bringing enough speed. I mean, Titus is a speed fencer, but I mean, we're talking about someone who was able to deal with Helios, who was considerably faster than Titus. So if he could deal with him, he could No, he could deal with Titus. Did you consider Bode in Jedi Survivor a dark Jedi? Maybe. I would say he's the definition of a of what you would expect from a dark Jedi. So yeah, I guess in that context, I mean, did he have his reasons? Yes, but I think he was just a little bit overcome with fear. I think had he just stood down, like if he had just stayed down, if he had just stopped fighting, he wouldn't be dead. Um, so it's really his fault that his daughter now has to grow up without a father. That's his fault because Cal gave him a chance to stand down. And I was like, what was his plan? Is his plan? We're just gonna stay on this planet, just the two of you, and that's it. Just that's it. Like, come on. Have I played Crimson Skies? No, I have not. All jokes aside, I didn't even know that the game existed until I watched your ranking video. Okay, I must have ranked that because I don't consider that a real Devil May Cry game. What rankings am I doing right now? I am currently editing rankings for the current 7 Mission Impossible films. I'm right now, as we speak, editing my review for Dead Reckoning that I saw yesterday before work. I want to get that up first, and then I'm going to upload my ranking of the Mission Impossible films, and then I'm going to upload the ranking of all 7 icons in Final Fantasy 16, and then I'm going to try to record the live sections of my review for Final Fantasy 16 because I still haven't gotten the script done, and I want to do this the right way because Final Fantasy 16 was one of the most anticipated games, so I don't want to do how I did my Star Wars review where I just did strictly raw. I was not happy with how that review came out. I want to do it in the traditional sense with the voiceovers and the script so I can kind of articulate my thoughts on the game because I have quite a lot to say about that game, and I just want to make sure I do it the right way. So that's what I'm working. That's literally what I'm working on right now. Have I played Star Wars KOTOR? No, I did not. I think it was the gameplay style that threw me off. It seemed like it was mainly a game for PC. And I don't think it came out for PlayStation. I think that was an Xbox exclusive, so I never got a chance to play it. And just from what I saw of it, it looked like it was more of like a MMO. And I typically don't play MMOs, so I think that's what kept me away from it. I could see that the story was interesting, but it's just the gameplay that kind of pushed me away from it. Any plans for a Dead Island review? Yes, I will be sure to do a Dead Island review. I promise. Have you seen Jason Statham's Crank? Yes, I have seen Crank and Crank 2. I think I like the first one a little bit more than High Voltage, but they're both crazy fun films. What character from Marvel Comics would I want to see get their own movie? None, as I'm done with Marvel films. I think the last one I saw was, what was it? Infinity War. I did not go see Endgame. I refused to watch whatever that last Spider-Boy film was because of what they did. I have not seen any of the Marvel films in this latest phase. I'm done. Once I saw Infinity War, I knew how Endgame was gonna play out. I easily predicted it. I told my brothers, listen, I don't even think I want to go see Endgame because I know exactly what the plot has to be. It wasn't a matter of what I think the plot was. It was how they ended. It was ridiculous how it ended. And I was just like, okay, they're going to do some stupid time travel thing, which is what they did, and then they're going to have some giant CGI fight fest where you can't really tell what the hell's going on, and that's exactly what happened. I did not need to see that film, but I knew that was the box they put themselves in, and that made Endgame so predictable. I didn't need to see it, and I knew what was going to happen. Dark Knight is my second favorite film of all time, right behind Terminator 2. Terminator, yeah, those two are a dead tie. For my second favorite film of all time, I really can't decide which one I like more, but I just know that Inception is number one, Terminator 2 and Dark Knight are tied for number 2. And the funny thing is I'm actually real pumped to see Oppenheimer. However, I got into like a little bit of an argument with my coworker at work that he was excited for the Barbie movie. I was like, that is so weird that you have like polar opposite films coming out on the same day. You've got a movie for little girls about Barbie and a movie about the creation of the atomic bomb. I mean, you can't get any different. And apparently Christopher Nolan is not happy that film is going to go head to head with that, because chances are, as ridiculous as it sounds, it looks like Barbie is going to beat the shit out of Nolan's film because it's a PG-13 movie. I think it's like a PG movie, so like more people are going to be able to see that film as opposed to Oppenheimer, which is a 3-hour, I just confirmed it, is a 3-hour rated R film, which is a film that I'm going to see in IMAX, and I've already paid $30 for it. Unfortunately, apparently we don't have any like true IMAX theaters here in Vegas. I tried to find apparently I tried to find like a true IMAX like 70mm theater, and the closest one is in Ontario, California, which is nuts. So I just found like the biggest IMAX theater I could find here in Vegas, and apparently even that's not like a true IMAX theater, which is nuts. But it's because it is literally a 3-hour rated R film. It's probably gonna get its ass kicked by Barbie of all things, which is crazy to think. Between Nightfall, The Death of Superman, and Superman Spider-Man Clone Saga, which one do I think is the best? Probably Death of... Well... I think most out of those three, because it was like the Death of Superman was a great story, but it's just how it concluded felt very underwhelming. What about DC Comics? No, there's nothing in DC I think needs a movie. I haven't seen any DC films either in a while. Who is my most hated video game character? You can't say the whole cast. I damn sure can say the whole cast of Final Damnation 13. What the fuck you talking about? That cast was awful. Not a single likable person in that cast. They were all awful. They were all awful. You've got Lightning, who's basically Cloud with a sex chain, which is not much personality. You got the black guy, who I thought, I saw the way they projected that character. I thought for a second that Japanese people were racist against black people, because he's doing this the whole time in battle. Like, what the hell is it? He's literally hopping down with his guns like this, with a big afro, with a chocobo in his hair. It's like, you know how much bird shit is probably in that afro, and he's doing this on battle. I'm like, what the hell is this? Do Japanese people have a problem with black people? Because I think they got bared down pretty well. What the hell is wrong with those people over there? That is not how black people act. Come on. I took personal offense to that. And then you got Fang and what's her name, who are clearly lesbians. It was clear they were lesbians. I mean, I don't know why we were trying to hide. And Hope. Oh my God. He's the worst. Killed his kid. And then Snow was just generic. I was just like, why is he here? Unbelievable. I found that game personally offensive. That was a terrorist attack on me. I felt that was a game that was like targeted to piss me off. And I still haven't gotten over that. That game cost me a 10-year-long friendship. And I'm still pissed off. Dude, my brother bought a copy of that just to screw with me. Like literally, like that's how bad it was. Like he literally he just bought a, he didn't even play it. He owns a copy of 13 just to annoy me. Like he'll put it like on the coffee table. It's like, dude, you better get that thing out of my sight before I go Ric Flair, like elbow through your glass table and destroy that disc. And he's just like, dude, like I can't believe you're this upset about this. Like, dude, I take personal offense to that damn game. That is, I find that game personally offensive. You know that, man. Why are you messing with me? Damn, that got me into such a... so many questions went by. Have you heard of Lucasfilms announcing that they're going to make a prequel? Clearly don't care, so why should I? What is my third favorite movie of all time? I would say my third favorite film of all time is probably one of the Toy Story films. I think that Toy Story is the greatest trilogy ever. I know it's hard to pick. Yeah. Anything with the name Barbie in it is an instant thumbs down. If Ern asked me out to say, I'd say hell no. I don't know. Apparently my coworker, as a married guy, apparently he's excited to see a Barbie film. It was like, dude, as a heterosexual male, why the hell would I want to go see a movie about Barbie? It would be like me, a straight guy, saying I'm excited to go see Magic Mike, a movie about male strippers, which we have a Magic Mike show here in Vegas. I'm like, why the hell would I want to go see that? Like, are you crazy? Now, some people will say, like, well, think about it. If you're the only guy in a crowd full of women, I mean, wouldn't that, like, put you in good position? Like, no, they would find that weird. I do not think women would find that attractive. And you're married, so, like, what are you talking about? I think you're just getting dragged. I don't think you really want to go see this film. I think your wife is making you. That's the only reason I could see a guy going by himself to go see a Barbie movie. Are you crazy? What the hell's wrong with you, man? I really wanted Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with her, and she accepted, but sadly it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't see that film. Big consequences that the main Avengers survived at the end of Infinity War, and the B-list and C-list characters died. You know, that was the stupid part. It was like they killed off everybody that we already knew had a film coming, so there was no suspense. Like there was no suspense. Their movies were in production. We knew that. Doctor Strange had a movie. Spider-Man had a movie. They were filming those films while that film was out. They were already done filming for Endgame. So once all these guys were getting dusted, it's like, I know it's fake because they're filming their films as we're watching these movies. So we know it's BS. So that's why I was laughing when everyone was like, oh my God, they're getting dusted. Like, they're not dead. They're not dead because I already know their films are in production as I'm sitting here. Now, if you killed some of the OG characters, I think that would have been a little bit more effective, but they didn't. Brian, I'm killing you. I apologize. Which Spider-Man story do I think would be the easiest to streamline? Sins, the Past, Superior Spider-Man. I think Superior Spider-Man. I think that would be a good one. I think that would translate pretty well if you got the right character, right cast. You got at least my favorite Resident Evil characters. Any least favorite? There's a character I don't really care much for. I don't really care much for Helena in Resident Evil 6. I don't really care much for her. I liked Piers. I'm sad that they killed him off because I think that was a missed opportunity. Do I think that Saban could have done a better job adapting Sentai? Maybe they could have, but I think what they did was okay. Your sibling told me that Final Fantasy... What? Nah, it was not good. It was not good. I mean, it was not good. It was not good. I mean, apparently it's got fans, but I am not one of them. Alright, we're already halfway through the stream. Word has it, Brian Kathleen Kennedy is going to be fired for... Well, Well, no, well, no, well, of course she should be fired. I mean, what the hell made her think to spend $300 million on an Indiana Jones film that is probably going to bomb hard? I didn't even go see that film. I was like, absolutely not. It's like I'm not like say what you will about Crystal Skulls. I actually like Crystal Skulls, and that was like the only Indiana Jones film I've seen in theaters. Okay, yeah, there are three things in that film that are like kind of ridiculous. Like, yeah, Indy surviving the nuke. Yeah, that was dumb. Yeah, if the blast didn't kill him, the impact of that refrigerator would have killed him. Okay, fine. Mutt swinging on the vines with the monkeys. Yeah, that was stupid because unfortunately there's no way that those vines would be able to support the weight of an average male. Like, those monkeys at most weigh 10, maybe 15 pounds. An average human male of his height weighs about 180 pounds. Maybe 150. Maybe. On a good day. Those vines would not support him. I don't care what you say. That don't work. And apparently everyone was like so upset with the aliens, but like, if you really think about it, there are several there's several things throughout history that there was always this idea that maybe aliens had an influence on it. Even if you don't believe in aliens, it's like, that's why the whole aliens thing doesn't bother me as much, because it was such a little part. Like, that whole aliens thing was only in the film for like 5 minutes. Like, the fact that that is what got people riled up. And I thought the ending when Indy got married, I thought was great. That was a great send-off to his character. Yeah, sure, you could stick with the ending for Last Crusade when he rides off into the sunset with his dad. That's fine. I know that some people would prefer to stick with that, but I actually didn't mind the ending on Crystal Skulls. Is it like a great film? No, but I will say Crystal Skulls is a good film, and I would easily see it in theaters again. No question. I have no problem with that. That Bumblebee drinking cup is pretty stinking cool. Yeah, well, I picked it up when I went to Universal Studios back in November, so. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I saw it. I wish they'd had an Optimus one. This is the only Bumblebee one. There was also, if you went to Nintendo World, they actually had these, actually, it's around. It might be around here somewhere. I actually have I don't know, maybe I'll bring it next to you. I have a mushroom cup. And there was also like this star, a popcorn bucket that you could have gotten. And there was also this like big Mario Kart thing that also carried popcorn. So there's a lot of things that they had that I thought were pretty cool. Who is my least favorite Devil May Cry character? Bob and Steve. But again, that's not a real DMC character, so I guess if we're sticking to just real Devil May Cry characters. Marius from Devil May Cry 2, he was not a very interesting villain at all, so he's like my least favorite. Have I played any of the Dark Souls games? Elden Rings? No. I think I tried playing Dark Souls, I think one of them once, for like an hour, and I was just like, yeah, this ain't for me. And I stopped, and I was just like, yo. Don't need to play those games. Do I think that the Spider-Man Clone Saga is underrated? I'm not sure if it's underrated. I just don't think that a lot of people really appreciate it as much as they should. Have I seen the trailer for Ridley Scott's Napoleon? Yes. I did not know that he was making a Napoleon movie with Joaquin Phoenix. That was a shock to me, because the only thing I was aware of that he was working on Gladiator 2, which just the idea sounded weird, and I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but oh my god, that is going to be, like, I'm more pumped up for something like that than like any superhero film, because I'm such a massive history buff, especially for like Napoleon Bonaparte. Like, you give me a World War II film or a history film like that, I'm down. And I was like, I think it's fun. I think it's amazing that Joaquin Phoenix is coming back to work with Ridley Scott, playing Napoleon Bonaparte, and he's playing the last emperor of France, in which at that time many people compared the French Empire to the Roman Empire. So I think it's incredible that Joaquin Phoenix kind of comes full circle, playing two emperors for two different empires that were very much compared to each other. I think that's absolutely incredible. I'm surprised that they're trying to fit Napoleon's whole life in one film. You easily could have cut that in two halves. But yeah, that's a day one see. I'm super excited for that film. Have I heard of Forstock or Scissor Saw of Rise? If Rise of the Beast does get a sequel, I think that those two would make great villains. Yeah, I guess they could do that. I'm not sure if this movie is going to be very successful. I don't think it's doing too well in the box office. Favorite Batman game that isn't Arkham? I think my favorite Batman game outside of the Arkham games, I'd have to go to the beat 'em up in the form of Batman Rise of Sin Soon, which I believe only came out on the PlayStation 2. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but that one I remember having a lot of fun with. That was a two-player beat 'em up. You could play as either Batman, Batgirl, Nightwing, or Tim Drake's Robin, and I thought that was like a classic 3D beat 'em up. I thought it was great. Which of these Marvel Ultimate Comic Book trilogy would I try to fix? I wouldn't. I didn't play any of those. Dave Filoni says recently that Anakin is the greatest Jedi. Do I agree? No, he's not. Dude, you can't be, you can't be the greatest Jedi ever when you go and slaughter an entire colony of youngling children. I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen. And seeing how he goes on to be one of, if not the greatest Jedi killer, I don't think so. I'm sorry. He's got a lot of problems. He's not the greatest Jedi. I did study Napoleon Bonaparte back in King's College. That's cool. Okay, wow, surprisingly, we are now all caught up on our questions. That is that is great. We are all now caught up. So if you guys got anything, go ahead and throw them out. Yeah, that actually took me away from editing my review. Mara Jade versus I'd go with Mara Jade. Yeah, she's a lot more powerful than I think a lot of people give her credit for. I mean, the only person who was ever actually able to take her down was Darth Kaitis, and that was only because he tricked her. I think in a straight up fight, she was right about to kill him. Do I got any favorite billionaire superheroes other than Bats? I'm not aware if that there's any other ones other than Batman. I'm sure there are, but I'm drawing a blank on them. Too much room. I should do something about the background. Alright. I think this section's, that's too small. Okay. Holy shit! Damn, I spent that much talking about it? Damn. I didn't know I spent that much. Damn, I didn't know I spent that much talking about it. Damn, that was Jesus, 12 minutes? Damn. I did not know I spent that much time talking about that. Damn. Eesh. Who is ultimately to blame for Anakin's downfall? Lucas said recently Obi-Wan is mainly... No, I think it's the code. I think it's the code. Because it's a classic case of the Jedi don't actually practice what they preach. By the way, is the stream going well for you guys? Because I got like a warning that says that YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I hope you guys aren't getting too much buffering. I hope that's not the case. No, I just think the code was because put it like this. I think had Anakin been able to develop in an earlier time in the Jedi Order or even after, he would have done perfectly fine. As far as I know, only that era had problem with forming attachments. So I think it was just the era that he was forced to develop in. You put him in any other era, he would have been fine. So I think it was really the Order, and it's just it's narrow viewpoint of how they think should be that caused his downfall. I think again, had Qui-Gon survived, he would have been fine, because Qui-Gon was also someone who didn't necessarily follow the code in a traditional sense. Anakin would have. Anakin probably he needed Qui-Gon, and I think that Obi-Wan did the best he could, but he was not the right master for him. Kenobi was not ready. It was basically the equivalent of Big Brother is trying to raise little brother, but like he's not doing it the way that Dad would have done it. I think that's what it comes down to. Do I think that it's weird that someone is using the Knights of Ren in their fanfic even though Kylo Ren himself doesn't exist in it? I wasn't aware that they were doing that. I think they mishandled that whole Knights of Ren thing. I don't really even know how it ended because I didn't even see it. Like I didn't even see the last. I didn't even watch Rise of Skywalker. I didn't need to. But I heard they don't really do much with them. Have I played any of the Lego games? Yeah, someone asked this. No, I have, but I'm like, it wasn't really for me. There are several Green Arrow and Iron Man along with others. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually read any comics, so I wasn't aware. Which video game character would I say is the most relatable to me? I don't know. I'm really not sure. That's the kind of thing that I would like to take a quiz on. Like like right now, I currently want to like relocate to a different location next year. I want to get out of Vegas finally, and so I took like a bunch of quizzes and they gave me like a few different locations that I think would be best for me to move to. I'm not gonna say where they are, but yeah, I definitely want to make some plans starting next year for sure. Power Rangers Samurai was the last Power Rangers game to be released on console. I wonder if we could get a Cosmic Fury tie-in on PlayStation 5. I'm not sure. I haven't watched Power Rangers in a while, so I can't really say. Have I seen Food Fight 2012 movie? I'm not sure. I don't know. I was thinking of another film that was awful. That I was horrified for, but I don't think that was it. I guess I gotta say no. And we got 14 minutes left. It's fine for me. Knights of Ren existed long before Ben Solo was born. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. If I played a Fire Emblem game, maybe a long time ago when I was maybe in middle school. But I just don't think I was a big fan of them. I saw your Game Awards video. Seeing you said you never played Elden Ring. You should 100% try it. It was the best game ever made, in my opinion. I'm glad you had fun. It seemed like it was a Dark Souls game, and I had tried playing a Dark Souls game before, and I didn't have any fun. I quit after about an hour. I even tried playing Bloodborne, which is a Souls game, and had the same experience. It wasn't working for me. First hour, I'm like dying constantly, over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, okay, there's only so many times I can take dying in the first hour. Like, this is ridiculous. I think the only Souls style game that I've played that I really enjoyed was the Jedi Fallen Order games. Those technically are Souls games, but in Star Wars, and I just think they're just not anywhere near as hard. Like they carried a lot of the same like style elements, gameplay wise, but I think it's just because it's Star Wars, it works a little bit more for me. But yeah, ultimately, I'm not really a big fan of Souls games, and Elden Ring really was a Souls game, so I couldn't tell the difference. They look like the exact same game. You could have easily called Elden Ring Souls whatever, and I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Best open world game you ever made. I'm glad you had fun with it. I rewatched Virgil versus Sephiroth recently, and you said that there was 5 characters you think that could take Sephiroth down. Who was those 5? Uh, what did I say? There was like 5. I did a whole video about this. I'm not sure if it's still up, but I know I did a video about that. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. Maybe I'll make that public again. I don't know. Oh snap! That's not good. Oh shoot! What is going on? I hope you guys can still see me because my browser's acting really weird. Okay, now it's starting to come back. Okay, yeah, that was weird. Okay. You think Insomniac Spider-Man 2 will do Venom well? I hope so. I think the door is open for. I mean, that game is the highest that game is ever going to get is a 9. But with how Final Fantasy 16 ended for me, I'm gonna go more in detail with my review. But I will say this. I went into the game thinking that it could easily be my game of the year, or it could be like my second favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, and that wasn't the case. It was like the longer I played it, it was just like it started dropping down the list. It's like maybe it can take the number 2 spot. It's like, do I think it's better than 10? No. Do I think it's better than 7? No. Do I think it's better than 6? No. Do I think it's better than 5? No. Do I think it's better than 8? I don't know. It stopped when it got to 15. And now it's like it's battling 15. Because there are definitely some things in 16 I think are better than 15, and then there's a lot of things in 15 I think were done better than 16. So I'll definitely go more in depth when I get my review up. But overall, it was like it wasn't as incredible as I hoped it would be. And so I thought it was going to be like a slam dunk, that was going to be my game of the year. And having beaten it, it's like, you know what? There's a chance that another game coming out later this year could take that spot. The door is definitely still open now. I thought it would have been an open and shut case for Final Fantasy 16, and that was not the case. Thoughts on Breaking Bad, or Better Call Saul? I have not seen either of those shows. Do I think that we're getting closer to companies ditching discs and games going full digital? I hope that's not the case. I do not want a pure digital gaming industry. I think that would be horrible. I mean, if they go pure digital, like GameStop would go out of business, GameFly would go out of business. I mean, how would you handle games? I mean, are we gonna have like a thing where like you can rent a game for a certain amount of time before you lose access to it? I mean, like, what if I want to get a game for a friend, or bring my own copy? Like, I just do not like that idea of a digital. Like, I'm old school, so I like having a physical copy, and a lot of people I know that are my age are also hardcore physical style gamers. I don't think younger generations mind digital, because maybe they want to save up space, but I will always be a physical gamer. I want a physical copy. I will always be that way. What is your biggest problem with Wonder Woman? She's a cunt. That's what my problem is. She's just a big fat cunt that shouldn't be anywhere near Batman and Superman. I'm sorry, I shouldn't use that word, but she is. Just to be blunt, just keep it simple. I don't want to go into another rant. Like, I already went on a rant about Final Damnation 13. I want to talk about Wonder Woman. Let's move on. In your God of War games tier list, at some point I remember you mentioned not being a fan of Red Dead Redemption. I highly recommend playing Red Dead Redemption 200%. No, 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 no. I'm okay not playing Red Dead Redemption 2. No, no, no. It much like Souls, it's not a game for me. I played Red Dead 1 like an hour, and I just could not get into it. My God, that game was slow as hell. I'm like, come on, get this thing going. Mm-mm. And I just knew Red Dead 2 wasn't going to be much better for me. I'm aware that a lot of people had fun with it. I thought it was amazing. It was not going to work for me. What is so far my absolute hated character you despise in 16? No one. There's no one I despise. I like the cast. It's just... to keep it simple, I thought 16... I think I can say this. I thought 16 was going to be Game of Thrones for Final Fantasy with Devil May Cry combat. And that is not really the case. The combat is considerably slower and easier. I will even say this. This 16 is by far the easiest Final Fantasy, not just the easiest Final Fantasy game I've ever played. This is probably one of the easiest games I've played over the last decade. It was shocking how easy this was. I only died once in this game, and it was only because I didn't understand what was going on. I'll say this again in my review, but the only time I died was when a big eye cast Doom on me. I didn't understand how Doom worked in this game. So apparently what happened is that it casts a blue circle around you and then a red circle around an area. Now, me being knowledgeable of how Doom works, I thought you had to kill the enemy before the time came down. What turns out is you needed to get outside of the red circle, but I didn't know that. So that was the only time I died. But I'm telling you, every single fight in this game, even the boss fights, were ridiculously easy. Some of them I didn't even get touched. That is how easy. Like even the final boss in this game was ridiculously easy. Now maybe it was because I was a high level, but I was not actively trying to level grind. Like that's how crazy it was. I was leveling up so quickly it was weird. Because usually when you level grind, that's what causes you to level. But I was just playing the game normally, and by the end I was at level 48 out of 50. And I wasn't even like taking time to do. I mean, I was doing extra side quests, but that was to get weapons. And typically when it comes to Final Fantasy games, I'll usually like dedicate like a good like hour or two every day of level grinding. I never did that, and I was just ridiculously powerful. And the game was like easy. It was criminally easy, the easiest Final Fantasy game ever made, and it's not even close. How much time we got? Less than 5 minutes, so we got to be quick about this. But no, I didn't hate any character. I just thought it was just easy. You got any problems with Hogwarts Legacy? No, I had a fun time with Hogwarts Legacy. I liked it a lot. It's just I wish I had more time to go back and replay and finish some things in there. But I keep jumping from game to game. So I think now that I'm done with, Final Fantasy 16, I might have some time to go back and play Hogwarts Legacy again. Because there's some things that I want to complete. Like, I find it funny that I was able to do all the side missions in Final Fantasy 16, yet there was like a bunch of side missions in Hogwarts Legacy I passed. But I'll definitely go back and try to finish them. I wonder if the Callisto Protocol will get a sequel after the DLC. I don't know. I saw what they did in the DLC. I'm not sure if that'll get a sequel. I'm not sure. What are my expectations for the next Mass Effect game? I just hope it's good. That's all I need. Just want it to be good. Good story, good combat. Don't make mistakes in the past and move forward. I know you're not the biggest fan of Sonic, but who is my favorite Sonic character? Well, obviously it's Sonic. So, I was always more of a Mario. Growing up, my brother was the Sonic fan, and I was the Mario fan. But heck, I really enjoyed the two Sonic movies. I had a blast with those films. But definitely Sonic, and I grew up watching the Sonic cartoon series. So both of them. So I thought they were great. What do you want to see in the story for the sequel? Probably be centered around a new character, and take like decades or sometime after that one, and maybe start making some connections with some characters that we know from the films. That's something I wouldn't mind seeing. My favorite gun company mine is FN. I'm not sure what that is. Why not watch Breaking Bad? It's very popular. Well, just because it's popular doesn't mean I want to watch it. There's a lot of popular things that I don't watch. Like I'm trying to think, what's popular right now that a lot of people are watching that I didn't really see. What's going on? What's popular now? Yeah, I typically don't like to follow fads like that. I typically like wait till the hype dies down before I check it out. But that's just me. Have I seen the movie Fatal Attraction? With Glenn Close and Michael Douglas? Yeah, I've seen that film. Very interesting. I did not see the. I think they did like an updated like TV series version of that. But I didn't go see that. But yeah, I've seen the original. It's a classic film. I'm not sure how I feel about the ending, but overall I thought it was fine. Have I played Xenoblade Chronicles on Switch? If you haven't, I recommend them all. No, I've never played a Xenoblade game. No, I haven't. We got like 2 more minutes before I gotta stop. Because I gotta head out, and maybe 45 minutes I gotta go to a pretty important meeting on the opposite side of town, and I want to avoid the traffic, so. And then hopefully I'll be back by 6. I'll still have some sunlight, and I can film parts of my review of Final Fantasy 16, because that's where my focus is. So yeah, guys, make sure you have your recommendation bell set, because odds are you will be getting 3 videos today. It might be later on in the day, like I'd say maybe after 6, but yeah, you'll get my review for Mission Impossible, my worst to best ranking of the Mission Impossible movies, and my ranking of the icons from Final Fantasy 16. And if I'm lucky, hopefully maybe I can get my review of 16 up later tonight or sometime tomorrow for sure. Okay, yeah, these are gonna be like the last few questions. How did Isaac Clarke get his hallucinations from Dead Space? The trauma he experienced. That the marker had an effect on his mind. Like, that was what was causing the hallucinations. Like, he had, like, a resistance to it a little bit, but it was still affecting him. What jobs do I have? I work as a mechanic, and I work in an arcade. I'm currently working 2 jobs, but I might drop one of those jobs in about a month or 2, because just working 2 jobs, it's good financially. It is not good for your body, because I don't get as much sleep as I did, and because I'm working 2 jobs, I don't have as much time to play games and work on content. Like, this year has been awful for YouTube. Like, this has like been one of my worst years in like almost a decade. And I think it's because because I'm working 2 jobs, I don't have enough time to upload content. Like, guys, like my last video was uploaded like 3 weeks ago. Like, that's how bad it is. Because I'm trying to like Final Fantasy, like I would have gotten through that game in like 3 days. It's taking me like almost 2 weeks. Like, it took me like a month and a half to get through Hogwarts Legacy. That's something I would have beaten like in 2 or 3 days. Like, that's what working 2 jobs does to you. I don't watch things people get super hyped for. Have I seen Wednesday on Netflix? I've seen a few episodes, but I didn't watch the whole series. Vincent Valentine versus Squall Leonhardt. I can't say that's too different. And what was my best year on YouTube? I can't really say. It was maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe I think it was like maybe during the 2nd or 3rd season of my Versus series. I think that's when I saw the most growth. And that will do it for this episode of the People's Questions. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Remember, make sure you guys have your bell set, because you will get 3 videos coming out later today, and hopefully a 4th one either later today or tomorrow. But you will guaranteed you will get 3 videos later today. We're going to continue this another episode of People's Questions next time around the same time. Maybe we might do 2-hour streams, but we might keep it to 1. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by. You're awesome, and I will see you guys next time.